Hello, my love, and welcome back to my channel, Deeply Human. I want to expand on the article that I wrote on Substack, which is The Truth About Fear. I'm going to link the article below in the description box. And I want to tell you more about my history with fear and anxiety, and I want to talk to you about how I deal with clients and how I work with clients through that. So it's a little bit more in depth. But before we start, I want to let you know that go over to Substack and subscribe. There's a free subscription and there's a paid subscription. If you want to get the free subscription, just go ahead and do it. The paid subscription includes all the juicy YouTube videos that don't make it up on here because they're too personal, they're too deep, they're too raw, and I just would love for them to be treated as such. And I have lots of stuff that is going to be published there that is supposed to support you in your healing journey. Even if you decide not to work with me or with any trauma healer, it's still going to aid you tremendously. So lots of articles that are going to be published in the next couple of days on there. Any Hooters. Also, I decided to start a new free room. And this free room is going to be for anybody and everybody. Obviously, I cater to people who have a business. I cater to people who want to change the world. Still, revolutionaries, still my gig. However, anybody can join. Anybody. But here's the big but. You have to be aware that this room that I'm going to create for free is going to be highly confrontational. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's not for people who like to be coddled. If that is you, and if you cannot adhere to the rules that I'm going to set, which is have your camera on. Be willing to talk and participate. If you do not have the skill set to do that, you do not belong into this room. I reserve every and any right to kick people out as I see fit. Not because I do that willy-nilly, but because I am very strict with my standards. And so if I just sense people just want to come in to cause drama, bye bitch. All right. So, but if you want to experience the way I heal and the way I coach, and if you want to experience revolutionary shifts in just 30 minutes, that's the place to go. So I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm probably just going to have people come in and first come, first serve. And we'll see what happens. I don't know if I'm going to do this weekly or every other week or so. Let's see. But you will find out about it first in my Substack. I will let the people on Substack know. It's not going to be hosted on Substack. I will send you guys a Zoom link for that. So that out of the way, feel free to join. I'm going to link everything below, okay? So, I don't have a history with fear and anxiety. That's it. I've always been a very strong-willed person and a very strong-hearted person, and I've always done a lot of things instead of procrastinating, instead of overthinking, instead of being in fear. And And this is the antidote to fear, always, to just go for it, to just do it. I'm not saying do the thing that you're afraid of the most. That's a little bit tricky. It's just, let me give you an example. I've had this client of mine who has been with me for over 3 years. She came in with heavy fear symptoms, daily panic attacks. She was quickly, within 3 months, able to handle her panic attacks, able to handle her fear. I gave her a toolbox, I gave her a toolkit with which she was crushing it, okay? She was doing really well. She experienced less fear daily. She experienced just less panic attacks. She experienced a more clear state and a bigger sense of self. And she's worked towards her ability to go out again and to drive again, because she had an intense fear of driving and intense fear of going out of her house being the safe space. Now, the thing is, lots of the fear that she has, and this is because I know her very well, is conditioned. Lots of the fear that she has is not her own. It comes from her parents. It comes from her grandparents. So we're talking about decades. I'm not going to say millennia, but decades, even centuries of conditioning passed on to her. This is epigenetics, right? Google it. I'm not going to explain to you like all the nitty gritty. If you want to see all the nitty gritty, wait for me to upload the trauma healer content, and then you'll see the connection there and understand the connection there a little bit better. So she, there were times where it became worse. So she started to hire me in one-to-one formats, because before she just been in group containers with me and did like single sessions, and the single sessions fucked her up, like in a good way though, because my work is all about connection. Connection to self, connection to environment, connection to nature, connection to your soul, connection to your community. It's about us connecting, us bridging the connection that you needed, that your nervous system needed, that your system needed to feel whole again. Because you've never been broken, you've always been whole. But you don't believe that. And that is the conditioning. That's why I call these things conditionings and not anymore. I don't go much with trauma. It's still trauma healing as a total, but I don't like always say, oh, that's trauma. Well, to be very specific, it's a conditioning. You have been conditioned to experience fear. You have been conditioned, as I said in my article, it goes even deeper than that. You've been conditioned to feel addicted, and addiction and a withdrawal of addiction is fear. Yeah. So we had a one-to-one live session because I just went to visit her. And yes, I went to Germany just for one client. And you have to be a very special client in order for me to do that. Not with any extra charge, mind you. So like, this was just me deciding, hey, we're supposed to go on an event together, but I already had a feeling it's not going to happen. And then I went there to do a one-to-one session with her. This turned out to be like a almost 4-hour one-to-one session where we went deep into body work. We looked at all her physical, somatic trauma, so things that have been stored in the body, which are easily detected if you're as knowledgeable as I am with touch. Touch is the mother of all senses. Touch is the thing that we have first. Touch is the fetus that connects to. Isn't that beautiful? And touch heals so much. But before you go out and about and start touching people, don't, because you probably are full of shit. You probably have no clue what you're doing, okay? Touch that is consensual, obviously, that's like a minimum. And that is carefully planned, carefully curated, carefully crafted to reach the spaces that ordinary touch between a partner, for instance, between partners, cannot. Where a partner would maybe be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't, like, and you feel uncomfortable. I go through these things with you when we do live sessions, and I love live sessions, and I also love body work when it's necessary, and it was definitely necessary for her. We overcame and worked on multiple different topics on her body, one of them being control. Fear was none of them. Yeah, it was always connected to anger. And now, fear is just a response, as I said in the article on Substack. Fear is just a response. Fear is not real. Fear is an illusion. It's a conditioned response. We'll look at animals in a natural habitat. They're not supposed to be fearful. They have a fear response where they know they can withdraw and they can flee, but they're not fearful. They're not crying themselves to sleep because they're so afraid of the world. That has happened because humans are living out of balance. They're living out of nature. What is natural? To live in a fucking confined little fucking apartment, having a 9-to-5 job? That's fucking confinement. That's slavery. And so if you continue to do this type of work, if you continue to be a hamster in a hamster wheel, obviously you're not going to be happy because you've been confined all your life. And my work is not just about trauma freedom, but it's also about waking you up to your actual divinity, to your actual purpose, to your actual freedom that's already there. You just need to see it, accept it, and live it. We're all inherently worthy already. There's nobody unworthy, unless you believe so. And your belief is the biggest thing. And as I said in the article, again, the article goes a little bit deeper. The fear is sustained because you believe something, which is why there was never a fear that could grip me, because I didn't believe it. My mom was schizophrenic. She had the worst type of fear, and her fear was people following her. That's something I just didn't believe people did to me. Therefore, I wasn't afraid of that. It's very simple, very simple. I wasn't afraid of not having money, because my mom was. She was deathly afraid of having no money. So she wanted me to marry a rich guy, which then I became the rich guy. So I was never afraid of money. My dad gave me a really, really great money mindset. And my mom was very afraid all the time. And I just didn't accept it as my own. I felt it, but I didn't accept it. And fear, again, is a conditioned response. The more you know about this, the easier your life's going to be and the easier your path's going to be. Now, with this client specifically, now symptoms are creeping up even more than before, but something has changed since working with me. She actually sees more clarity in her future. She actually feels that things are much more possible now. And she still feels fear, and it's come back even more so. And why is that? Because once the condition notices, and yes, the condition has its own spirit, it's almost like an entity. Once fear notices, you don't need it anymore. It's going to grip on. Everything does that. Everything that wants to stay holds tight. See this as you want to, whether it's energetic, whether it's, but should you so much as dare to put a weird comment, you will be blocked forever, and therefore also be put on my blacklist for all other trauma healers to work on you. Just be careful, because you will need us. You will need people like us. It's because we know the truth. And we are living it, and we're experiencing it. I haven't been fearful and afraid my entire life. And there are voices that try to grip me. They come in. Why? Because my brain is a receiver. That's all your brain is. I don't have thoughts. I keep telling this to my clients. I don't have thoughts on a daily basis. The only thoughts I have are procedural. What do I need to do next? That's it. I don't think about things. I have impulses, ideas, intuition. The way I speak to you is not because I planned it and I have this whole thing out here that I want to tell you. This happens in the trauma healer where I really need to structure like what I want to say without just yapping on. But this is free flow every freaking time. I know what the topic is, and I'm going to talk about the topic. Will I forget things? Sure, but I don't give a fuck. Because I'm not afraid of failure. I welcome failure. And I hope you do too at some point, because that's the only thing, or for many people, that's a big thing why fear can latch onto you. Fear and insecurity. So, what were my insecurities? I never really talked about that before. My insecurities were about me being enough. Was I enough? Now I know I'm enough, of course. Now, it's not just a knowing, it's deeply embodied. I'm enough. I don't need to talk. I don't need to perform. I can just sit there and observe. I can just be me. I can just be a fucking troll. I don't care. And I can just give a weird answer if I want to. That's what people don't understand about me. Like, I'm such a troll. There are moments, if they really, really know me well, they're like, Chantal, why were you like that? And I was like, because it was fun. So I don't play by anybody's rules, which is why I'm not afraid. Because I create my own rules, and therefore I have just me to justify my rules in front of. It's always been you, boo. It's always been you versus you. It's always been you who makes the decisions, who makes the call. I decided I don't want to live this life long term. I love it here in Dubai, don't get me wrong. I have tons of freedom. I can do whatever I want. But I'm still playing into the system. And admittedly, the system is not as bad as the other one, but yet it's still a system. It's a system that I didn't create. And in other places, I'm still going to live according to the rules of the land, unless I find my own piece of land, like really like my own, without any government behind it. That would be amazing, right? But why do we have to own land? Why can't we just inhabit it? Why isn't everything free? And freedom is our inherent right. It is only since colonialization, industrialization, patriarchy, that land has become a commodity, just as humans have become a commodity, which is also what I'm talking about in the article. And my, everything in this life, in this reality, is based on fear. Mind you, might I say, the Matrix is based on fear. I'm not going to go too deep into that, because I feel you're not protected enough to know more on that. Even though everybody talks about the Matrix, half of the people that talk about it really know what they're talking about. And this is the problem with the spiritual community. This is why I'm not huge. It's because we are the best kept secrets. We are not striving for world domination. I mean, I used to strive for world domination, but I'm not striving for world domination anymore, because I'm going to make a difference where it counts, where it matters to those. I'm going to reach those that matter. And you can either matter, or you can forget this video ever happened and go back to your sad, silly life. Oh, you think that's triggering? Just wait until you're in my room. I'm going to fuck you up. Lovingly. And this life is so fucking rich. You just can't feel it because you are not you. And you need to become deeply human to be you. And this is exactly the work that I do. This is exactly the work all my trauma healers do. I have over, let me just think, like, there are some trauma healers that fell off the bandwagon, I have to say, and this is normal, yeah? But I have at least 10 trusted trauma healers that I can recommend you to, should you think I'm not the right person to work with. And again, sometimes their voices, they're like, oh, what about money? And I'm like, what about money? I just answer them like, shut up, what about money? Then you to, like, yeah, fucking thought so. You can't even fucking, what are you stammering about? That's how I respond if there are voices in my head, because obviously these voices are not mine. And your voices in your head are not yours either. These are not your thoughts. Where do you think these voices are coming from? Be very careful what you follow. If you already follow, you're not leading yourself. Yeah. All right, my love. That's it for today. I hope you liked this kind of video. Let me know how you felt about it. And I'll talk to you soon.